Obusia for Sabi Abeka NPP for ni bi and Adrian Atoa Asiedu Nketia any Asiedu Nketia to enyum kro anything in Chebia and the NDC chairman Asiedu Nketia the Betuga say all the three leaders in the EC Boss Masaris and Motete Mensa some crofoni nyina or some nyina ya sake nyina because they are not fit for purpose. And PP4 sorry can bebre and ne fiti braji Mensa and declare say rerun in the 19 polling stations no and no nyina say aye sake no nko ama see court cases I would do nyina de abema enya asembetwa eye Kofi Bent also the no smart to ja our say you can incompetent and inconsistent this easy people no dear or catch ECAG Mensa leading say be on one can resign because she's not fit for purpose. The
EC has played in the hands of the NDC. As to what they want to do to them, only God knows. But they have played it into their hands. Because something, you can, as a state institution, nothing stops you from leading a negotiated settlement. Nothing stops you from calling the parties prior to the meeting, even reaching out to them, right, separately before the meeting.
But you have both taken an entrenched, position.
You can always negotiate.
Because Masari had actually said in Parliament that if they allowed a rerun, in future it will be difficult because some people can decide to deliberately disrupt the process, damage one or two pin sheets, and insist that there should be a rerun.
So it's about developing principles. That's how nations are developed.
When you march to the IGP on the 4th of June, you gave him a petition asking that he should provide the security. Did you get an answer to that?
We are yet to get an answer. And that is what I mean of the highlights within our democratic, what political scientists may take up in terms of the constraints within our democratic space. The strength of power of the police vis-a-vis the state power, the executive, and the influence of ruling political parties. It's a whole thesis that we may want to.
By the 16th of June, your colleague and Minister for the Interior on the floor of Parliament had indicated what should be the answer, that there was some pending process in the Supreme Court which disallowed them, the security task force, from going to provide the security that you were calling for.
So the rerun, does it not compromise the position the Interior Minister expressed on the floor of Parliament? Clearly, there's lack of candor because clearly the EC itself is buckling under pressure and that doesn't help.
Okay.
I don't want to use words such as integrity issues. I don't want to use words such as trust issues because I want to still maintain confidence in the EC and not give the NDC enough power, right, to remove the EC like they intend to.
Okay,
but we need to be careful.
Let's find out what Kofi will say now. How is he going to structure this discussion? Because he has a way of doing it. The NDC's parliamentary candidate who claimed victory, the NPP candidate also claimed victory. The NDC's Rabna Obeng says, this isn't our heart's desire, but it is only fair for them to do this. I believe it is God's way of preventing chaos in Ablekuma North and Ghana at large. The party leadership has engaged us and urged us to cooperate with the process, so we accept it. Shouldn't this be the language the NPP should be speaking?
Absolutely not. And please don't bring God into these things. He gave us a brain. He expects us to use it. He created an earth and put all these things in it. And today we are doing all kinds of fantastic things. Somebody can take a hat from somebody else, put it in another person, sew it up and send the person walking. So God has given us enough to handle our issues. This is not about that. There are a few times that you agree entirely with someone, and I'll get to that, because we agree with Asiedu Nketia. And you need to note that Imani's position is not recent. We've been sounding the warning about the EC for about 10 years, and specifically about this EC. So if you say I should frame it, this is how I look at it from a point of view of an analyst who has been looking at this institution. I have taken them to court and won. They refused to implement it. We have taken them to Ṣacќ. We have challenged them on the figures. We've been ridiculed as a time. We've maintained our position. Today, people are seeing what we are talking about. The politicians haven't changed. The political parties haven't changed. Okay? And you can expect that they will fight for what, you know, for whatever is worth. Because
when you say you agree with the NDC chairman,
yes, I agree.
He says they are not fit for purpose. The first three of them, they should be removed.
We agree. I'll come there. So I'm framing it. And I'm starting by saying there's a history, as you see, and things we've been saying. Here, you have a situation where you have what is called catastrophic failure. Catastrophic failure is where I give you every resource you need to do something for me, which is simple enough for you to be able to do with your competence and the resources I've given you, and you fail totally. That's what we've got. When you have catastrophic failure, it is either an unwillingness to do the job or incompetence to do so. And Asiedu Nketia said so. He said this EC is not fit for purpose. They are either unwilling to do the job or incompetent. I think they are incompetent. They have shown it over and over again. For the first time in our lives, after 30-something years of a democracy, we had SAL go for 4 years without representation. Today we have an empty seat. All right? Now, go to the facts to show that they are incompetent. Okay? You have a statement where they've said, okay, I won't read it again. They've said that we have 3 problems. We need security to go and fix it. Under oath in the court. When you have those facts under oath in the court, you stick to them. Why have they changed it? And you know what? When you change things like this and you just decide you are going to, you know, shift positions, serious matters like this, if we were in a situation where they could be fired, they should have been fired long ago. And if they were not fired, it would be the irresponsibility of the person who should have fired them. But here we have a constitution where they cannot ordinarily be fired. That's why I agree with the Asiedu Nketia. Listen, I think all the 3 should go. They should resign. If they don't resign, this is one of the few cases, in fact, the only case I remember. We had our issues concerning the EC before this present EC. There were some issues during Charlotte's time. We engaged there. She was working on some of them, and then she went. In this particular case, in Charlotte's case, I wasn't happy with the removal of Charlotte and the way it went, because we predicted that if this goes this way, then every politician will come and they will keep removing people. In this case, I will be happy if they move to remove all the 3. And this is not the first time I'm saying so. Because we've had this catastrophic failure, and again, because of time, look, if you assemble the facts as we have them, okay, what happened in Ablekuma North? They came out and said...
Just a second, staying with the remove them thing. I thought you had joined us on the campaign that we need to refine the law so that not every mistake or error or misconduct of such officers must lead to removal.
Yes.
They should, like all of us, when we take a misstep somewhat in our places of employment, we may get a reprimand, we may get a suspension, we may get some punishment, but not the ultimate removal.
I said, in all the other cases, we have been against it. So in that sense, I agree with you. And that position still remains. But I also said that this is the one case where there is no room for reprimand or whatever it is. And this is the one case where consistently this group has shown themselves incompetent and unwilling. And this is the one case where this same group, after all, I don't have the time to go through the litany of things, but here you have a situation where they have gone to court under oath and sworn that this is the problem they have. Then they come back and they shift the position. This one group is not credible. They are not competent. They should go. And I said they should resign. That's the easiest way. If you don't know your job, leave it. But if they don't resign, they should be removed. Look, this country is more important. I was going to make the point before you came there. If you assemble...
The same point.
The same point. If you assemble the facts of Ablekuma North, call 5 SHS students and assemble the facts, they will unanimously tell you that the EC is at fault. This is a matter of incompetence. And if you have this level of catastrophic failure, which is so obvious, even from court documents, why are we jumping?
Can I get a consistency in your advocacy on this matter of removal? When Dampare was being hounded out, my position was the same as I suggest now, that if he had committed some sins, it was possible to sit down with him and take a correctional approach that you have done A, B, C wrong. We'll give you X time to remedy them and to not, as it were, chart this path. Rather than say the only way out is to remove you.
I hear you don't believe at the point. Look,
I thought you supported me there. Now you are saying that people have committed some mistakes and errors. They must be removed.
To elaborate further. I still support that position. Okay? And I don't want to personalize this to Dampare, but all these states, actors and whatever it is, there are sufficient processes. In the case of EC, right, these are not available. You don't have a situation where there's a police council or an EC council. It is not there. The only way out is for them to resign, because they themselves have resisted. I remember, because I was part of this, from when attempts were made to audit them. And auditing was proper. Later on, it was declared that, yes, that was proper. They resisted it. We made attempts. There are IT experts that can prove that you can't buy an expensive printer and only use the fax function. There are so many things, but they refuse any kind of advice from any quarter. So what we have said about others will not apply to them. And to that point, look, I have said, Imani has said, and I repeat, it is time for us now to amend the Constitution. It's in the hands of HKP to totally change the laws which insulate the EC from some of the things we are talking about, and therefore they can't even, correct themselves. It is time to, from what the Constitution says about their independence, etc., how the EC heads are appointed, etc., and all the things down to the allies. But let's be clear, today as we speak, there is no shortage of laws or processes to resolve what is happening at Ablekuma North. And again, Asiedu Nketia said it. So when you have had that kind of situation there, then it is incompetence. And now the incompetence is morphing into collusion. Let me be clear. I think they are afraid of the NDC.
Is that collusion?
Please, let me make my point.
Imagine that is true.
I have
is that
made my
collusion?
point that incompetence is morphing into collusion. 1. Number 2, they are afraid of the NDC. They are afraid to do the things that they themselves have decided that they want to do, because somehow they want to avoid what Asiedu Nketia has said openly, that they believe they must remove. Let me tell you, whether you boil it or you fry it, the NDC will remove you. And in this particular case, you will not have anybody helping you. So this collusion, and I say collusion because who doubts that if you rerun this election, the NDC will win? Who doubts it? And for that matter, I don't think the MPP is being difficult in that matter. They are being absolutely clear, and they are serious politicians. They know what is happening. When a strong man and a weak man have a simple case that goes to the palace, and the case or the verdict of the case delays in coming out, it means the strong man is losing. You have a situation like this where the government in power, clearly sees that if the EC does what they have sworn in court to do, it may not be in their interest. All of a sudden, they've shifted. The verdict is not coming out. And now we have to go and rerun everything. How did it move?
How can you say with such certainty that if they went to the rerun, the NDC will win?
That's what I'm explaining to you. That one, when you have a situation which does not defy resolution, you've sworn that there are 3 problems. Go and do it. When you say, all I need is security, take security. And I'm saying, when you have a strong man and a weak man take a simple matter to court, or to the palace, and the verdict is delaying coming, means the strong man is losing, which is why they are taking stances to help the strong man, which is what I'm calling
the same voters whose votes they are having problems counting, or they're having problems certifying, will be the ones who will vote.
No.
So
some people who
if they voted for the NPP, they will keep the NPP.
No.
If they voted for the NDC, they will also vote for the NDC.
That is what is called a simplistic analysis. that the same people who voted are going to go back and vote. It will never be so. Some of the people have died, some have traveled. Some people who voted NDC have changed their mind and they'll vote NPP. Some people who voted NPP have changed their mind and they'll vote NDC. Giving even the atmosphere.
So that gives you a fair resolution?
No, it is not. You see, an election is a snapshot in time, which an institution which is powered by law and the Constitution should take. And when you take that snapshot in time, it does not mean it is a perfect view of everybody. But that snapshot in time is the law, and that is what we are going to proceed with. That snapshot in time has been taken. The results are there today on paper. Hold on. And we have been saying to this EC that there is no reason why today I can scan something on my phone and send it to a place. Why you cannot do the send the pink sheet straight to the headquarters on the same day, etc. And I heard the other lady say it. And the EC has been dead eared to all of these things, and they keep on doing totally perverse things which lead us into this situation. Look, I have no doubt that the present position of the EC is supposed to help them keep their positions there, and it's not going to help them. I worry about what it means for this country. What it means is that if you sense something is going to happen, it doesn't matter. Just disrupt the system. And whoever comes and has the power will be able to manage it to their advantage. The EC should go back based on what they filed in court. Give them the security, let them deal with the outstanding. No new election is required. It will be an aberration.
The EC, this is what the EC did, and yet it is being faulted. Why? In the press statement it issued on the 2nd of July, it said elections in selected polling stations in Ablekuma North constituency. As part of its commitment to resolve the impasse regarding the Ablekuma North constituency parliamentary election, the Electoral Commission yesterday, that's Tuesday, 1st July 2025, met with the representatives of the National Democratic Congress and the New Patriotic Party. The meeting, which was a follow-up to an earlier meeting held on Thursday, 12 June 2025, provided both parties the opportunity to brief the Commission on any new developments regarding the said constituency. The parties informed the Commission that their positions put forward at the last meeting remained unchanged. The NDC held the view that the election should be rerun in 37 polling stations because scanned pink sheets from 37 polling stations, which were used to collate the results, were provided by the NPP. The NPP was of the view that the results from 3 outstanding polling stations be collated and a winner declared, since the NDC agents had verified and confirmed the scanned polling station results the NPP presented. It's important for the public to understand that the issue in contention has to do with the fact that 37 pink sheets provided by the NPP and used to collate the results were scanned copies. The public may recall that political party supporters besieged our collation center and destroyed a number of the pink sheets for the Ablekuma North parliamentary election during the collation of the results following the 7 December election. After extensive deliberations, the Commission informed the political parties that it would proceed to rerun the election in 19 out of the 37 polling stations. The Commission arrived at the decision to rerun the elections in the underlisted polling stations because the 19 scanned polling station results used for the collation, though approved by agents of both parties, were not verified by the presiding officers responsible for those polling stations. It is instructive to note that the Commission was able to secure the presiding officer's verification and confirmation for 18 scanned polling station results. Agents of both parties also approved, saying a rerun will therefore not be held in those polling stations. The elections will be held on Friday, the 11th of July 2025.
1 minute. So this is what you call an afterthought. I'm also going to read what there is. Only 2 paragraphs. It says, the collation of polling station results for Ablekuma North took place at the old office. The exercise was not completed because 3 out of 281 police stations were outstanding. What it means is all the rest.
This is the
easy.
The release it issued in January.
Yes.
Okay.
All that is important that this is the EC speaking authoritatively and things that they have sworn even in court. So it says the commission wrote to Ghana Police Service for the continuation of the collation on 17 January. On the day the collation was expected to take place, the commission was alerted by the police that per the intelligence available to them, the exercise should be put on hold. Then I read the conclusion. It says, once again, we call on the government to engage the Ghana police to ensure that the commission is provided adequate security to enable us go to the office and carry out our functions in a safe and secure environment. Threats to lives and property are unacceptable and should not be allowed to continue. The commission is working round the clock to ensure that the people of Ablekuma North have their member of parliament. We need the cooperation of the police to achieve this. The NDC view has always been rerun. The EC's view has always been give us security to recollect. How does that change?
Yes, Nana.
So it's hosting here. Any insema mahama yarigaka. Like the only question about him is why is the NPP party afraid of the rerun? Why are they afraid of? And that's what are they afraid of? Because it doesn't make sense. Say, it's not like say, that rerun no, ye omudien film, and I see ye that party, it free that ballot paper no so. That rerun, because on the 11th, Friday no. This and that's all the political parties. Be free because the challenge is between NDC and NPP. These two major parties, be in the picture about ballot paper so. NDC PC, NPP PC, a rab now being in a carefree. So exercise never because it's not like say we are ignoring one person and as a party. Both parties are involved. And right now, even though EC no Wababo and Sinya can say it's left with only 3 outstanding polling stations. Only 3 outstanding polling stations. He went to court to swear an oath. Boss Masari went to parliament to give a submission and a clear evidence that it left with only 3 outstanding polling stations. The only problem a momentum collated the result is that they need a security from the police service, and the police are refusing to give them a security because the last time they tried to collate the rest and after the 3 outstanding polling station now also any the Ankwe, so they need a tight security from the police service. And Mahama Yariga says problem is saying and they say you people caught our Damsamgoye coalition. So why do you need a tight security? Is there a misunderstanding between the both parties? Because before you can collate, there must be an agreement. Right now there's a disagreement between both parties, and you want to force one other party to accept the result. Meanwhile, there is no transparency. If say transparency in a while, I better not accept the result in the first place. So the back and forth in analysis, the EC any pin sheet, the NDC any pin sheet, only the NPP for no pin sheet, and that pin sheet is scanned pin sheet. Beside NPP for someone for almost scan original pin sheet almost scan go almost software so na fambra. So how can you use soft copy of scan and as a scan pin sheet without authenticating the original pin sheet? So the only problem is another solution is inquiry run, because there is no clear evidence the Momo scan pin sheet and the banner are authentic. Because you can't verify, the EC can't verify because the EC only some of the pin sheet or betima cross checking. So the only thing that everybody say inquiry run. So with that rerun and I could find some way in initially Nketia can say those 3 leaders, chairpersons, deputies, why normal is on they should go. They shouldn't wait for someone to write a petition to the government, for the government to send people to sit on the case to form a prima facie, blah 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 blah. They should resign peacefully because they are not fit for purpose. Their level of incompetence in this one are too much as compared to Ṣacќ say. So the only thing ever born one can say from a lot of attacks from the opposition party then embarrass so. And ne also quite around the Amogani Atuano. Say, very and she's incompetent, she's the Kofi Bent always speaks for the NPP. And then the on all side with a Nketia said that's some kind of no. Even though there are court cases, Supreme Court or High Court or and so no easy say no sorry because the court cannot force the EC to do or show the EC how to do it week. So if the court is a complete coalition and at the end almost the errors be brought EC nankasa no autonomous or no bit it doesn't need a call to show them how to do their work. More power is that they are not under the judiciary. So these are many more subscribe and share more news.